Hello, I'm Eli from 2D Array, and today we'll be showing what's new in the 0.1.2 patch for Observatory, a VR variety pack. Most of our players haven't opted into our beta program, so we'll talk about the changes to Hamster Slide first. We started this patch with a list of tweaks and bug fixes, which grew a little while I was working on it. The biggest fix was related to the playback of other players' ghosts. Sometimes a ghost would appear to move extra slow or extra fast, but their final time would still be reported correctly. Playback should look correct now. So that type of stuff is necessary and good, but it's also not very exciting. So I decided that we should also include a new game mode too. It's called Hopper, and it's probably for advanced players. This opens the door to other new game types, but we'll have to wait and see what those turn out to be. Eventually, I'd like Hamster Slide to have a simple unlock progression, and game modes are a perfect inclusion there. Like I said, the other Hamster Slide changes aren't too fancy, but here's a quick list of some of them anyway. Fixed a bug where restarting a race would often cause you to immediately drop. The audio volume settings are mapped more sensibly than before. The main menu scene's buildings weren't spawning their wall props correctly. The main menu now includes a no connection hint if you don't have Steam running and connected. We added an optional nose in the settings. We've heard that this can help with vertigo. So that's all for Hamster Slide in this video. You can see the full patch notes in the game's Steam forum. However, if you've opted into our beta branch, Antibody has been making some great progress toward its initial release. It's got some temporary tutorial messages that pop up in your interface now. So if you grab an Xbox controller and a Rift, you can give it a go. We'll be adding Vive support before it hits the default branch, but that's not quite working yet. Now, what is Antibody? Well, Antibody is a space jet horror game. One of our big goals is to create the types of scenarios that you'd get in a scary movie, but to do so with the game mechanics instead of relying on meticulous choreography. David's been working on some homemade instruments, which he's using to create sound effects for our various beasties. Sound is a vital part of a scary atmosphere, but his first round of making monster noises digitally had come out feeling a little too synthetic on their own. Now he can record real vibrations from a physical device and process them in software afterwards. The result is much more effective and powerful than before. But maybe not when it's acoustic. The instruments are made of found items combined with leftover parts from guitars and other pieces of hardware. If you'd like to know more about how they work, David wrote a detailed post on our dev blog with lots of audio and video clips, which you can check out at 2darray.net. A recent technical addition to the game is a volume renderer. This allows us to draw patchy fog in a way that looks particularly good in a headset. We're doing this by drawing a bunch of billboards and making each one render a slice of a 3D texture. If we stack up the billboards in front of the player's face, we can render a volume. Right now, the game has 5 levels that gradually introduce you to our current set of game mechanics. As we're recording this, it starts you over at the beginning if you lose, but I'm going to make the permadeath optional soon, once we have a main menu. As I add more gameplay features, like enemies and player abilities, this temporary level set can get longer. Later on, we'll be making a narrative campaign for the game. It's a mystery story about a team of ships inside a giant carrier vessel which is being controlled by an unknown force. I'm excited about it, but it's not in the game yet. Once we've got the story mode implemented, the original setup will turn into some kind of secondary arena mode. If you want to opt into the beta and try Antibody now, you can right-click on Observatory in your Steam library list, pick Properties, go to the Betas tab, and switch the drop-down from the default option to Unpolished. You can find a link to our Steam page on our website, observatoryvr.com. Have a nice day.